Hey everybody, Marcy here, and I'm in possibly what is one of the tinier shops that does what I do. And in kind of keeping with the theme of the previous video, I just want to give you 5 quick tips on how I make this teeny tiny shop work. Now, from the back wall where my lathe is to where I'm standing is about just a little over 12 feet on the concrete portion, and then side to side is about 6 feet. So we are in a space that's roughly working footprint of 12 by 6. As you can see, my equipment is all horseshoed all the way around me, and I have found that that works really well. But let me show you a few things I do to make this teeny tiny space work. So one of the first things you'll notice when you come into my shop is as many of the pieces of equipment and shelving units and whatnot as possible that can be on wheels are on wheels. Everything pretty much is movable, even this big pigeonhole cubby cabinet. I've built an angle iron frame for it, and it is on a set of wheels underneath. All of my little storage junk bins are on wheels, so I can pull those out and see what I've got, and they stack, so I can just pull the whole stack out, undo the stack, and see what I've got. As I mentioned in the previous video, my bead roller, my English wheel, my drill press, all of that stuff's on wheels. My English wheel is on locking wheels, and I poured sand into the frame to make it heavier. Put a hole up at the top with a plug and just poured this whole end full of sand because they're kind of top heavy, and when I'm adding, 2 to 3 inches on it, it wanted to kind of tip, so I just added some weight with sand on the back, and it seems to have fixed that issue. My cabinet over here, my nut and bolt bin, also on wheels. That has to come out because my sand casting and my foundry equipment is directly behind that. I don't use that every day, so it goes into the back cubby. So that's tip number 1, keep as much as you can where it is mobile. Tip 2, find all the organization bins and whatever you can find to keep it organized. If you cannot keep it organized in a tiny space, it will never work. So you can see I've got this bin, I've got these little cubbies I mentioned earlier. I've got all my C-clamps up here. I've got sanding, those little sanding pads, sanding disc up here on this shelf. So I've utilized every little ounce of space I possibly can and tried my best to put it in an order that works. But yeah, if you don't have organization, it's never gonna work. Everything has to have its home. So if you put it in its place each time, it's not nearly as bad. You get my nasal filters up there. All the little drill add-ons and things like that are in here. My drills are up there. My vice grips are all here. My magnets, spray paint, just organization's key. So that's tip number 2, keep it organized. Give everything a home. Tip number 3, make everything that you can have a double use. I mentioned this in the previous video, but there's a hinge right back there that my planishing hammer is stored on. And I also put the extra attachments onto a little piece I've put on magnets. Just sticks to that. My plasma cutter, one of my plasma cutters, is attached to my English wheel cart. So you can see I've just made the English wheel, and my plan in the future is to put my shrinker stretcher on the backside of my English wheel. So when I pull that piece of machinery out, I get all of those pieces of machinery. So find double uses for things if you possibly can. One double use here is my countertop is also a countertop. I've added this little pull-out countertop. This is also metal rather than the wood, so if I needed to use this as a welding table, I could. And it just has those heavy-duty hinges. So this will hold, I think 150 pounds is what these hinges will hold. I've had a motorcycle engine on it, and it didn't seem to affect it. So find a way to multi-use the space. It also doubles as if I'm hanging things out to dry, I've got a rail on here. This also works to hold an angle grinder. So if I'm in the middle of doing something, I can just rest an angle grinder on it. It works perfect. My countertop also doubles as holding things I'm not using a lot. So I've got a couple of little pieces of square tube, and this is my little belt sander. And so you just pull the belt sander out, flip it the other way, and shove it in. And there is a screw T-handle here that holds it in place. There's a little attachment on the back that holds it in place. So that, I get to go back in there, also doubles as a holder for my sander. This is my little cubby for sandpaper and whatnot. It also doubles as the holder for my ultrasonic cleaner. This isn't something I use every single day, although I do use it fairly often. It's kind of nice to just have it tucked out of the way, and then when it's pulled out, I just run the cord up and through my little power strip up there. And this little cabinet also has a rail on it that I can use to hang things to dry. I use my bandsaw a lot, so it needs to stay out where I can get to it. And that is tip number 4. Keep the tools that you're going to use all the time where they're readily available. And the tools that you don't use all that often, throw up in a pile. You can use those when you dig them out. So all my angle grinders are out here. I use those every single day, so they're easy to get to. And I've made a little rail just like I did on the table over there to hold those. My hammers I use every day. My welders I use every day. My torches I use almost every day. So all that stuff needs to stay up front where I'm working. So tip number 5 is look for opportunities where you can utilize a space you wouldn't ordinarily think you can use. My bandsaw I use almost every day, and it needs to stay out. It's one of those tools that meets the category 4, which keep the tools you're going to use often readily available. I did rig this saw so that it will also work as a vertical bandsaw. So you flip it all the way back, but you can see the problem is, let me get this pin out of here. When I go to tip that back where I've got it sitting right now, it hits the back wall. So to use this as a vertical is really an inconvenience right there. The other thing is it's at an awkward height because my countertop's pretty tall. So if I were to flip that back to be used as a vertical, it's at a weird height. So I wanted to drop it down. So we just made this little guy. Now the problem is right here, I have to deal with my support for my countertop is right there. This countertop actually, these two legs fold up and that whole thing will drop flush to the wall. So let's say I need to get a car in here. I can take everything that's on wheels and move it, drop that countertop down, and we can still get a car in here. The Mini Cooper and the Land Rover are the only two cars, the 1961 Land Rover are the only two vehicles I have ever had in here. But if I need to, I can get a car in here. But by pulling this out and utilizing that space, I can then just take my saw. There's a couple pins. It sits on a metal plate. I can take, it's on 10 gauge. I can just take these 2 pins out, slide it down right here, and lock those pins in. And now I have a vertical saw that is at a lower height and much easier to work with. This also doubles as a metal holder. If I'm working on cutting stuff with the angle grinders and things, I can just pull that out and set my metal on that. So it also works as a countertop, I guess. That's one of the little nuggets of things I've hidden in the shop. So in keeping with that number 5, look for opportunities. I did a whole video series on this guy, but I built a lathe table that essentially is cantilevered down to make it a functioning height where you can sit in a stool or whatever and use the lathe or stand there. It's a comfortable height to stand at as well. And it has a drawer up here that holds tools and things for, oh, that must not be locked back. It is not locked back. There we go. So it's just on a gas strut. And so when you drop it down, it doubles your depth of your table. And then when I'm not using it and needs to go out of the way, you can just shove it up and out of the way. I have another rail up here that I put my hooks on when I'm hanging my saws out after I've plasma cut a saw and I've oiled it. There's a whole rail that goes all the way around it. You can hang 10 saws right there when you're you've oiled them and they are drying. So that makes a really good little area to hang things that you've spray painted or whatever. One thing you don't see in my shop until you start using it is the bandsaw will line up with the vise. If I'm running a piece of sheet or pipe or tubing or something and it's longer than 10 feet, I can just rest it on the end of the vise and that keeps it the same height as the vise on the bandsaw. Strategery. I had to keep moving this until I got it where it was just about right for that. You might say I've used every little bit of space right there. Everything in here is pretty tight. So, yep, look for opportunities to utilize the space you have. Get creative. I got creative with the little table back there. I wanted a lathe, didn't have room for a lathe. Figured it out. Sometimes necessity is truly the mother of invention. So just keep looking. So there you have it. 5 little tips and tricks for how I've made a teeny tiny shop work. I mean, let's face it, I wouldn't know what to do if I had a big shop. It'd probably just be a mess all the time. I've made it work. It's worked for me. So don't be scared to work in a teeny tiny spot. If you got a hall closet and that's what you've got, go figure out how to make it work. See you next time, everybody. Go build something creative.